one. Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here with another edition. Yes, the second time this week, the Nick and Tim Show. Nick, what's going on? I need to fix my camera. It looks like garbage.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well today.
Are you far from your mic?
No, I'm right up on it, fool.
Oh, you got quieter from when you were talking a minute ago.
Turn my gain up a little bit. I'm just not yelling as much.
Gotcha, that might be it.
But
Why?
hello, everybody. I see Dontrell Bailey here in chat. Luke is here as well. Nicholas, Nico, and Steven all here, all kicking it with us this evening. A little bit to talk about. Got a little bit of WrestleMania news to talk about, or I guess WWE news in general regarding Raw, SmackDown, NXT, things of that nature. Got a couple of questions from the text line. Of course, you guys do have any questions, I can drop it right here. If you guys give me 1 second, if you guys want to text in, you guys can always text in any questions that you guys want to have answered tonight. That should pop up shortly. If not, or is it text?
Phone. It'll come up in a minute. It takes a minute.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought maybe I didn't have the rights.
No, you're right. With YouTube's new live system, the night the what's it called, Nightbot or whatever it is, takes an extra minute to
got you.
populate.
How's it going? Robbie, Kristen McNutt here as well. Gregory and Roy all flowing in here. Crown Clown says, "What's up, Tip and Nick? How are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, Crown?" That phone number is going to be popping up here shortly for you guys to send in any kind of questions that you guys may have. Just anything you're wondering about wrestling, maybe something specific. Jumping into our first topic here, WrestleMania. Looks like it's going to be a 2-night event hosted by Gronkowski.
Oh, Rob Gronk.
Oh, good old Rob Gronk. Dusty asks a good question here in chat. He says, "Do you think that WrestleMania will be good?" Bold question. No, I don't think so. I don't think WrestleMania is going to be too good this year, but I do think it'll be entertaining and it's going to be something to watch. And I think that's what we need right now.
Oh, yeah,
so
for sure.
I've got high hopes for it. But Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about what the plans are for WrestleMania going forward now? What did WWE announce it yesterday?
So they announced on Wednesday that they are running WrestleMania on 2 nights. The April 4th, which is Saturday, April 5th, which is Sunday. They also announced that former New England's Patriot tight end Rob Gronkowski, who we do know has signed a contract with WWE to eventually wrestle for them, will be the, I guess you could say, host of WrestleMania. They don't do the host every year. They do it periodically. Like last year, Alexa Bliss was the quote-unquote host, even though she was only at the very beginning of the show with Hogan and then never came out again. If you remember WrestleMania 33, we had the New Day as the host. They came out and did like 3 different things. Before that, the last host I can remember, Hogan was supposed to be considered the WrestleMania 30 host, but he just did the segment with Austin Rock, and that was all. Rock was the 32 host, but he just announced the attendance, and then going back and back, they've had different hosts and stuff here and there, but it's not like a thing they do every year, the quote-unquote WrestleMania host. But with that, they announced the WrestleMania will be taking place from on 2 nights, but when they made that 2-night announcement, they actually did not state a location. We then learned about, 2 hours or so after WWE and Rob Gronkowski broke that news from, I think it was Ryan Satin first reported, that they are looking to run from multiple venues, which means stuff will be taking place in the PC, but there will also be stuff taking place outside of the PC at other places. And the reason for that is to limit the amount of people together. So the first thing is you have your card. Originally, the show was supposed to be 16 matches. I don't know if it's still going to be 16 matches, but you take your card, you split it in half. Half work Friday or Saturday, half work Sunday. Then
is it Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday?
It's Saturday, Sunday, the 4th and the 5th.
Gotcha.
So then you say, okay, X amount of people are working the PC, X amount of people are working wherever else they're working. So that way you split the amount of people together in half yet again. Now, we don't know where these other locations are going to be, because I know there was a rumor stating that they wanted to do something in Madison Square Garden. They had a house show set up for the 22nd, which is actually this weekend, and that got postponed, so they can't use MSG. And I know everything in California shut down, like everything.
Yeah, literally just now.
And so they can't go to like LA or something, or San Francisco. So I don't know where they go. Maybe they go Chicago. Maybe they go, I don't know. They don't need anything big. And I don't think they want anything big, because the bigger the place with no fans and a small setup probably is not going to look good. They want somewhere small, intimate, like the PC, like Full Sail. Full Sail's closed down, so they can't go there either. So we'll see what happens with the whole where the other locations are going to be and where they do that, whether it's still in Florida, whether it's actually still in Orlando, just somewhere else like a warehouse or something, I don't know, down the road from the PC. I don't know.
It's interesting. I'm interested to see how they're gonna be pulling this off, and I'm interested to see what people in chat are thinking as well.
But there's more to the story.
I know. I'm just saying. I want to know what they're thinking.
No. I'm just saying.
Willie's Network. Yeah, I do think it should be. Personally, I think that would be real good.
What?
Have Mania on Fox.
Now, if it was a full-blown Mania, I'd say yes. But the way that WWE has run their 2 shows so far with no crowds, I don't want people to tune in on Fox for the first time or not watching WWE in many, many years, see that and go, well, this shit's garbage. Because unless they divert from what we've seen already and run more like AEW did, the shows aren't going to get any better. Because at least with AEW, I'm not just talking about the crowd itself, but it was also shot differently to where you don't see the empty seats. You're just looking at the ring, at the Titantron, big screen behind them, and the lights and stuff there. With WWE, they still got the hard camera set up in the same place, so you see all the empty seats and all of this and that. They should turn the lights off. I get it. It looks cool because, it's SmackDown. You got the blue lighting all around the building. It's Raw. You got the red lighting all around the building. Fuck all that. You turn all the lights off except for, put some lights on the ring, on the entrance ramp, and the Titantron. Other than that, keep everything else dark so it doesn't look empty. And I don't know, pipe in some fucking crowd noise to make it sound like there's people there. I wouldn't do that. Because people are going to know unless you show that there's people there. At least with AEW, they had like 10 people in the crowd. They had heels on one side, baby faces on the other.
Mm-hmm.
But the word going around now, this was reported by multiple outlets. I think John Pollock was the first to report this, that for the next week, WWE is going to just record everything. They're going to film everything because just like AEW, they're unsure when they're going to get shut down, when something's going to happen, and they say you can't run at all anymore. Like we saw with AEW last night, they're not saying, they're hoping the next Dynamite is next week, but they're not saying that for certain because they don't know. They're just saying on the next Dynamite. So with WWE, they're going under the assumption of, what if Orlando gets a shutdown? Or what if some of these key players can't fly to Orlando because where they live is shut down? The airports are shut down. They can't fly in. So what WWE's plan is right now to film every Raw, every SmackDown, and WrestleMania over the next week and just air it all pre-taped. I don't know if they tape anything post-Mania or if they're going to play that by ear. But from what we are hearing from John Pollock of Post Wrestling, I think Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet tweeted it out. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer tweeted it out. WrestleVotes tweeted it out. That the plan right now, tape for the next week as much as they can and just air it all pre-taped. But, I mean, people aren't going to know the difference because, A, with no crowd, there's no spoilers. I mean, maybe some dipshit guy that works for the company will leak it out to somebody. Maybe leak out 1 or 2 little things. But there's no crowd to put out spoilers. And if you air it the way they've aired the last Raw and SmackDown, you could have thought that was pre-taped anyways. I had a lot of people ask me if the Rey Andrade match was taped like the day before or something, or the weekend before. Because it felt like it wasn't live. What do you think, Nick, of them pre-taping everything going forward?
They're going to have to. They have no choice. I mean, I'm aware that they have to do it. They don't have a choice. I'm just interested to see in how they execute it. And like you said, it's not like anything's gonna really get spoiled. And I mean, people like
Right.
Sean, they get Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful, they get parts of the script or something like that.
They
So
used to,
released.
but they know people backstage that'll leak them stuff. But with
Yeah.
limited amounts of people backstage, like who's gonna be there? Are those people that normally leak things to the dirt sheets actually gonna be there, or are they just those extra people working backstage that aren't essential for running these next couple of shows?
I got a feeling it's wrestlers that are telling them what's going on.
I mean, possibly there could be some other people that work backstage as well, but I mean, we'll see how it all goes. Like I said, I don't expect many, if any, spoilers to get out. Some could, but I don't expect many, if any.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't know. I'm interested to see in how they execute it.
So, there's not much more to talk about in that regard as far as WrestleMania goes. We do know that they've got, 7 matches officially announced. I know when I did my thing this morning, because WWE did put out a tentative card as far as what's happening on night 1, what's happening on night 2, but they didn't list Edge versus Orton. I had a lot of people ask me, why didn't you put Edge versus Orton on here? Is that night 1 or is that night 2? Because technically on TV, Edge versus Orton has not been announced. Edge made the challenge for the last man standing match on Monday. Orton is not responding till next Monday on Raw. And that's when the match will become official. And then I assume, since the way it's laid out right now, Edge versus Orton would probably be a night 2 match. Edge himself says that he feels he and Orton should be the main event over the Universal title match with Roman Reigns and Bill Goldberg. What do you think should main event?
Let them main event night 2.
Because as of right now, the plan is night 1's main evented by the WWE title match. Night 2 is main evented by the Universal title match.
Nah, you can just have a dual main event, so there's no main event. Have a dual main event night 1. Night 2, give it to Edge. Come on, give it to Edge.
Give it to Edge. I mean, I could see it working. I don't see why not.
Honestly, dude, they got to do something, right? They got to do something. Why not just do that? What's the worst that'll happen? No one in the fucking crowd's gonna react.
Because there's no one there to react.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no one's gonna give him a bad reaction. You can put anyone on fucking whenever.
Yeah, but you think
so? Why not give Edge the opportunity to at least technically, quote unquote, main event a WrestleMania?
You think
is the main event of Wrestle Kingdom Night 2 always held in such high regards as the main event of Wrestle Kingdom Night 1?
Well, they've only done Wrestle Kingdom 2 nights one time.
Shut up. I always thought they did it multiple times.
This year's Night 2 was the bigger one because Night 1 was, we've got an IC title match and a world title match. Night 2 was the IC title, or the IC champion versus the world champion, both titles on the line. So Night 2 was the bigger match because it was for both championships.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at chat and just see what people are thinking.
Remember, guys, if you want to ask us a question here, we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A thing. We got some questions queued up, but if you want to ask us a question, you can do so by texting into 510-906-1341. You can also get your question read by putting it in the live chat as a super chat donation. Those really, really do help us out here. And yeah, we will read all the super chats. We will read all the text messages. We'll try to read the comments in the live chat as well. But, the live chat keeps moving, so we may miss one or two. So like I said, just to make sure your question gets highlighted in the live chat, send a super chat donation like Kristen McNutt did. She says, Nick, what do you think of Ricochet's new look? I doubt Nick's seen it because he's having an issue with Twitter. Have you seen it?
Shut up. Like I ain't got Twitter on my phone, fool.
You were just complaining about it. You're like, I'm just going to use Facebook.
Right, I'm a grown adult that also has a $1,500 phone that can download a free app called Twitter. Yeah, okay. I saw it. He just clean shaved. He looks cool.
He shaved his beard off. He'll probably grow back by the time we see him on TV again.
Yeah,
if he's like most males in his 30s, probably grow back pretty quickly.
Edwin Para asks an important question.
Uh-oh.
Edwin asked the question that I have been dying. Yes, I have seen the Sonic movie. It's very good.
I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
It's so good. It's so fucking funny.
So with that, before we read some more of your questions and whatnot, we've got a little interview we want to show you. We interviewed MLW star Richard Holliday.
Cool name.
With that, we're gonna show you guys a clip of that interview that you can see right now on our YouTube channel. The interview is up right now to view, but check out this quick clip from the interview. And I see you started with MLW, which is where most people would probably know you from in 2018. What got you to MLW?
Yeah, MLW is going to be what's going to be most synonymous with my name at the moment, and I'm very proud of that. Well, MLW came to New York for the first time in, I believe, October of 2018, or July of 2018, and they had we had some slight communication before that, and they had said, "Hey, listen, we're going to come to New York. We're doing this Battle Riot thing, which was a 40-man battle royal." And I think at the time maybe they were just looking for bodies.
Right.
And, thankfully I was one of the guys that they put in. However, when I showed up to the venue that day, things changed. And I was not only just in the Battle Riot, but I ended up having a singles match. I was in the opening match.
Oh, that's cool.
Of MLW New York. So, I was the first match that New York fans had a taste of, which is pretty historic, considering that's one of our hubs now
right.
at the Melrose Ballroom in New York. So, but that's how I started, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
And so being from the Northeast, that kind of, I would assume that kind of felt good for you to be like the first representation of MLW in that area.
Yeah, it was historic. I'll never forget it. I'm happy to say I was the first wrestler that these New York consumers saw. So to me, I can always remember that. It could always be a little feather in my cap.
Even with the MLW, you are a former MLW tag team champion with MJF. Where did that alliance and tag team come together?
Well, me and MJF are two very like-minded individuals, so it was really a perfect pairing, and I felt like it was something that MLW desperately needed. They needed guys like him and I on TV and doing these segments and then incorporating Alexander Hammerstone and just forming the dynasty, which has probably been the most talked about thing in MLW for the past year.
Yeah, probably.
So it's been quite a ride with the dynasty. It's still going.
We are back here. So, like we said, we got some questions. We're going to do a little Q&A. We got some questions queued up. Nick, are you ready for these text message questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right, this first one does state, do you like Matt Hardy in AEW?
I don't know. He hasn't done anything yet.
Exactly. It's kind of too early to say. I mean, good for Matt to know that WWE is not going to use him the way he wants to be used or to his highest potential. So go somewhere else and see what you can do. I mean, he doesn't have much longer as an in-ring performer anyways, I don't think at least. So why not go somewhere else where the dates are limited, you don't have to work as much, and you can have more creative control. Text message here says, do you think any of the top people in AEW like Cody, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, Dustin, Kenny will ever make the move to WWE? Or do you think they would stay loyal to AEW?
Say that again? I wasn't paying attention to your question.
Do you think any of the top people in AEW, like Cody, the Young Bucks, Hangman, Dustin, Kenny, or others, would move to WWE? Or do you think they will stick with AEW and stay loyal?
They're going to stick with AEW. There's no, what's the difference between AEW and WWE other than name?
I mean, at least for most of them, they got to stick around for at least 3 years. They didn't sign just, work for us whenever contracts. Most of them signed 3-year deals, if not 4.
Yeah, no, they're staying here.
Yeah, they're for a while. This person asked, is NXT TakeOver canceled in Tampa? Yes. Everything that was taking place in Tampa, no longer happening. This person says, I think they should postpone WrestleMania until June.
Yep.
Here's my thing with that, though. If they postpone till June, can they really drag out these storylines?
Who gives a shit, dude? People are actually dying.
My
Like,
thing
who
is,
cares?
just get it over with now. Run the matches that you have set for Mania, and then make SummerSlam a big deal in August in Boston, if that's possible. That's what I say they do. Heck, if they can, move SummerSlam from Boston to Tampa and put it in the big building, in the stadium. This person says, with NXT TakeOver not happening, do you think that the advertised NXT matches for TakeOver will happen at Mania? Well, to be honest, there was only one advertised match, and it was the women's ladder match. And no, I don't see that happening at WrestleMania because they didn't even announce all the names for the match anyways. They only got halfway through that.
Mm-hmm.
Person here states, hey, Tim and Nick, my question is, do you think WWE should do one day do you think one day they should put WrestleMania on Fox like the Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
I think they should if Fox is willing to pay them the right money, because they can't just put it up there for anything. It's not like, oh, we've already got a deal with you, so you just give us WrestleMania so we can put it on Fox. Fox is gonna have to pay extra for that. I'm pretty sure that's what they do with the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl rotates between Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, every year it's on a different one.
Didn't know that.
And so I assume, which I've read before, that they know which year they're getting the Super Bowl because it just rotates around in that rotation. And so they know, okay, this year we got to pay a little extra to the NFL for rights fees because we're also getting the Super Bowl and everything that goes in with that. Because you haven't realized that it's not always on the same channel every year?
No, I've never known. I also don't really watch a lot of football.
Gotcha. This person here in the next question says, is it just me or is the crowdless shows boring? I mean, pipe on crowd chants and boos, in my opinion.
No, don't pipe it on. Like, don't. You add it and it just looks weird. And I think it looks bad because of the way WWE presented it.
Yes.
I think when Emily was on here on Monday, she said that they came out and it was just, they all just felt so robotic. Like they just did it as if there was a crowd in front of them. It didn't feel natural. The only things that felt natural about that show were Triple H and Michael Cole. And like you could tell because they were having fun. They were just shooting the shit.
Well,
when you have wrestlers going out and like cutting promos to the crowd and pandering to the crowd, I like how they did it with Stone Cold and he was like, "Give me a hell yeah," and it just panned to empty ass seats. Like that's funny. That's you playing with the fact that you have no fans. But when you have like Bailey on that first, and like props to them for being the first people to go out there and do that. I think you were the one that said that on the podcast last week. Like that's huge. That's a big thing to do. And when you have them addressing the crowd, like it just makes them feel, it's just weird. I gotta change it up.
I did think Edge's promo on Monday was really good. And like I stated last night with AEW in their opening, I felt Edge's promo actually worked a little better with no crowd because everything was quiet and he was really able to show the emotion in his voice and his delivery.
Yeah.
Next question here says, any news on AEW weekly shows? As I stated earlier, don't know anything in that regard. They're working day by day basically to know when they can run again. The hope is they can run Dynamite next week. And yes, they did state, now this comes from Dave Meltzer. They stated that Blood and Guts match would be on the next show. But according to Meltzer, he did state on last night's Wrestling Observer Radio that could get pushed back even if they run in next week. Because if there's a situation where they can't get everybody there, they'll just push that match back. Because this week, there were some people that couldn't show up to Dynamite. Like Justin Roberts couldn't make it. Marco Stunt couldn't make it because he was under the weather. So, yes, they've announced things for the next Dynamite, but things can change every single day. And when we know when the next show is going to officially air and take place, we'll let you know. Person here says, do you think it benefits Edge versus Orton instead of the Universal title? Whoa, this is not written. There's no punctuation here. I'm going to paraphrase this. You think it benefits Edge and Orton instead of the Universal title match as being a bigger deal to ESPN? Yeah. You think more people? I can't read this question. I apologize to whoever wrote this. but it's kind of hard to read, and I can't understand exactly what you're asking. It seems like you got, like, not to be rude, 4 sentences mixed into one, and it doesn't make sense. If you want to try and retype it, I'll reread it. First says, with NXT Tampa not happening, do you think, again, same question asked earlier, do you think the same matches will happen in Mania? No, because there was one match that wasn't even fully announced. So with that, just looking at the live chat before we do wrap things up, again, there's not much news going on today other than the whole WrestleMania may be pre-taped and the next couple of weeks of shows may be pre-taped as well.
Plus, I'm gonna be real, and I want to know from you guys as well. I really like these like 30-minute, like actual, like we're on topic type podcasts. You know what I mean? Like I feel like with our longer ones, we always kind of get off track a little bit. And I think it's good that we're finally getting back on track of like nailing down one thing and really killing that. So how are you guys feeling about the 30-minute podcast? Of course, we'll probably eventually start going longer again. But as we get back on track, as I get back in the swing of doing,
well, there's also just less to talk about right now.
Yeah, there's just not fucking dog dick to talk. Are you going to stream tonight? Any games?
Probably. I've got a couple of news things probably to put out. But then other than that.
Yeah, why not? Stream some games. Maybe I'll hop on Discord or something.
So looking here, because I got corrected in the live chat, ABC hasn't actually ran the Super Bowl since 2006. It's been a rotation between CBS, NBC, and Fox. I thought it was all 4 of them since ESPN runs Monday Night Football. I assumed they were in the loop as well, but I guess not. I could have swore I watched the Super Bowl recently on, I guess that was 2006. Well, shit.
Yeah, must have been back in 06, I bet.
But I felt like I was at my parents' house that they live in now, not where we lived then. I don't know. Fuck it. Anyways.
Nicholas, I want to, man, but y'all don't want this fucking Incineroar smoke. Anyway, folks, thank you guys very much for tuning into this episode of the podcast. My name is Nick. You can follow me on Twitter at ArmWeek21. You can follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. You can find us right here on YouTube as well. I'm going to do my normal outro now because I'm getting a call that I have to take right away. Call your mom. She probably misses you. Tim, where can they find you?
Bye. You can find me basically everywhere at TimmyBuddy on Twitter and at twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. If you head over to my Twitch account, you can subscribe, follow, do all the good stuff over there. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, then that means you're a Twitch Prime member. As a Twitch Prime member, you get 1 free subscription to any Twitch streamer you want to subscribe to, you want to support, and I would greatly appreciate it if you gave that free Twitch subscription over to me. With that, all the money I do make off of Twitch, twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy, will go back directly into PW Unlimited. It will help us in creating new content, new, I guess you can say, series that we want to work on, and pay Nick a little more. I do pay Nick some for doing the podcast, but we were making more money. If we were having a little more coming in, I could pay him a little more as well. It just helps everybody all around, both me and Nick. So again, head over to twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy and support us over there as well, because for some of you, it could be absolutely free. It's just money sitting, burning a hole in your pocket. Thank you, Venomouse5000, for the super chat donation. I will be live later on tonight streaming on Twitch. Not sure exactly what I'm going to be playing yet. So with that, have a great night, and I'll see some of you later on tonight on Twitch, twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. If not, then we'll see you tomorrow after SmackDown.